guys, well today we're going to talk a little bit about 5 things you want to keep in mind when you're buying a used sport compact car, especially older ones, but it applies pretty much to any sport compact. So what are they? Well, one, and this is so important to me that I'm going to mention it first, is that you don't want to get overly caught up on the bling or the height or the mods that the car has. I've seen many a guy, known a number of friends, to go and check out this car. It's the most awesome car ever, they say, and then you ask them why it's such a good car, and it's because they saw that it had a motor swap done on it, or that it had like some performance parts added or whatever, or it had a brand new paint job or whatnot. And I mean, those individually in and of themselves can make it a good deal, but a lot of times people look at it and it has a fresh paint job on it, or it has a motor swap in it, and they get so caught up on that they forget to check out the quality of the motor swap, or they forget to look at the quality of paint job, or they don't look at the electrical or how it really drives or whatnot, or they think that that's such a value that other aspects of the car make it worth overlooking for that. So definitely keep that in mind. That's something that happens to a lot of people in my experience, so that's a very important thing to me. Also, number 2 is to make sure you do your research on the car that you're looking at buying. That can be it can be that you're looking at 3 or 4 different kinds of cars, so you want to make sure you do the research on those cars. I actually didn't do enough of that on this car. I have owned a number of sport compacts. I've owned a Civic before. I know a number of guys that own Civics, and I just forgot to look up a couple of things for this particular year model. If I had, I would have known that, like, the the idle surge or low idle issue is a common issue, and I would have seen how much all those components can be to replace. So I probably shot myself in the foot a little bit on that. I got into something that I wasn't prepared for, economically speaking, but it's going to work out, I'm pretty sure, so I'm not worried about that. And then 3, I say that you need to make sure that you really pay attention to the negatives of a car. Don't just think this car is the car I want. Make sure that you actually look at the car in detail. You realize what's good or bad. If you're not familiar with a car, talk to somebody who does know cars. Have them come along with you. Do that. It's really important in my opinion, because it will save you a lot of hassle in the future. And then 4, make sure that whatever you buy is actually something that is suitable for what you have desired. I know a lot of guys buy cheap cars like a Kia or a Hyundai or something like that, and they can be fun compact cars to drive, but the problem is that a lot of those cars don't have a very large aftermarket value to them. So what you can buy aftermarket wise just isn't very easy. It's not very cheap, and the performance you get out of it isn't very great. So I don't know that I would consider that a very good deal a lot of times. A lot of times you spend a lot more money to get a little bit of performance out of it in comparison to buying a more commonly modified car, that you might pay a little bit more for the car, but you can modify and get a lot more performance out of it cheaper. And then 5th, never forget to just assume you're going to have to do all the maintenances on the car. I rarely take the word of a previous owner on the maintenances done, unless they are previous maintenances that are big items that they have receipts for. So timing belts, water pumps, all that stuff that you do usually at the same time. Oils, that's differential oil, transmission oil, motor oil, air filters, all of that kind of stuff. Even vacuum hoses, like this was 26 years old, so you can assume that vacuum hoses are going to be needed to be replaced. All that stuff I just assume are going to be part of the cost. Tires, for instance, if they don't have aftermarket wheels, do they have the tires that you want or wheels that you want on it? Are you going to pay for that to be replaced? All that kind of stuff. So those are 5 very important parts. 1, make sure you don't get caught up in the hype of the car. 2, make sure you do your research on the car. 3, make sure that you are knowledgeable about the car as far as looking into what it actually has with maybe a print or whatnot. 4, don't buy a car that is not as common if you aren't willing to pay the extra money for it to get it to the point of performance that you want. And then 5th, of course, as I just mentioned, is making sure that you assume that you're going to have to do the maintenances and you have the money for that kind of stuff and the repairs that need to be done on the car as far as that goes. So hope that this was information that can help you guys make a better decision in buying a fun sport compact car. So thanks again for joining me on Sport Compact Fun. My name is Eric, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode. So please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want, you can see the latest videos in the playlist for Sport Compact Fun right here. You can, or really right there. Or you can also subscribe right here by this hand. And then down here, you can check out my off-road independence videos. So thanks for stopping by once again. Hope to see you in the next video.